A Democratic candidate for Congress was just charged with a federal indictment by the Department of Justice. Take a look at this clip.
The Department of Justice is charging 6 people, including myself, with federal crimes for exercising our First Amendment rights near ICE's Broadview Processing Center. This is a political prosecution. This case is a major push by the Trump administration to criminalize protest.
That was Kat's response to the news of the federal indictment. Kat is actually running as a Democrat in Illinois, and this whole thing basically started when Kat went out to protest ICE at her local ICE detention center, where ICE was taking people off the streets and housing them, and it was a whole group protest. Kat was one of the people there, and ICE, this is on video, ICE violently threw her to the ground, which we'll show that clip right now. So as you can see, a pretty brutal and very violent response from ICE agents to people who are just standing on the street exercising their First Amendment right to freedom of speech and protest. Just a quintessentially American ideal. It's what this country was founded on. And ICE agents feel the need to brutally shove people to the ground who really are posing no threat to them. Now, it's worth pointing out that Kat is not the only person who was indicted by the Department of Justice. She was indicted alongside 5 other people, 2 of which are also political candidates. Now, as we know, the Trump administration has essentially been waging a war on, as they describe it, Democrat-run cities, blue cities.
Ones that are run by the radical left Democrats, what they've done to San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, they're very unsafe places, and we're going to straighten them out one by one. And this is going to be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war, too. It's a war from within.
You don't see them invading Kansas or Missouri or Louisiana with ICE agents. You only see them going to places like Chicago, Boston, New York, LA, as we saw this summer, because they really want to wreak havoc in heavily blue states and blue cities. Of course, this took place on the outskirts of Chicago, this incident with Kat. So we really have to kind of sit here, and it does raise some questions about the possible political motivations of this case by the Department of Justice. Is Kat and the other 2 political candidates, are they being charged because they are Democrats? And this is not the first time that an ICE agent has put their hands on an American citizen who is either filming from the sidelines or using their First Amendment right to protest or free speech. Every day now, there seems to be new videos that come out of ICE agents with masks on in a squad car, just assaulting Americans, shoving them to the ground, shoving them against the wall. It seems like this is happening every day with no accountability or oversight. Take a look at these clips.
Her husband had been detained. Want to show you that video now on your screen. You can see the woman seeming to plead with the man. When he then appears to grab her and shove her into the wall, she eventually falls to the ground. Before she's pushed to the ground, she's heard saying in Spanish, "Take me too. Please take me too."
Get out the elevator.
Now, these 2 clips are just a small sampling of the quite literally dozens of videos that have come out since the beginning of the Trump administration showing ICE agents brutally assaulting and shoving to the ground people who are either half their size. They broke the ribs of an 80-year-old American citizen. There's a video of ICE agents sitting on the skull of an elderly man outside of his business. And in these videos, you can see family members pleading with ICE agents to give them some idea of what will happen to their family member, about where they will end up going, how they can contact them, what squad car they were put in, the agent that is in charge of it. There's no information given, and you can see the hate and animosity and anger that these ICE agents have for these people who are just asking for basic questions that should be, of course, provided to family members when something like this is happening. ICE agents just seem to have no regard for the cries for help, the pleading for just basic human decency and mercy that these people are asking them for. And it's important to note that ICE agents right now are in incredibly high demand by the government. They are hiring basically anybody who applies and giving them $50,000 signing bonuses because they'll just take basically anyone who applies. They're trying to deport so many people that you couldn't possibly possibly train all of these ICE agents with the procedures and knowledge and know-how that are necessary to actually go out there and patrol American cities and streets. Normal police officers, they go through months, if not years of training. They have to go to police academy. They have to take tests. They get tased just to know what it feels like so that you know how much pain you're inflicting on someone. And ICE agents now, they get basically plucked off the street. They're holding conventions where people can just walk up and get hired that same day or offered jobs. There's no training going on. And in a lot of these videos, it seems that ICE agents take a certain level of pleasure in being able to assault people under the protection of the Trump administration and the federal government, assault people who they just disagree with politically. And here are some screenshots and images from the Department of Homeland Security Twitter account where they every day are posting AI, basically propaganda screenshots, trying to rope people in to join ICE because it seems cool. They're trying to be edgy on Twitter, using clips from Halo to join. At the beginning of the administration, the White House account was tweeting deportation ASMR videos where you would hear the handcuff, the chains clink together of people who were being deported. They have bags over their heads. In some cases, family members were saying that they were only able to identify their family members from these videos. And so Kat is not the first person to have to deal with these sort of charges from the Department of Justice in this second Trump term. A long list of Trump's political enemies, people who prosecuted or tried to prosecute Trump for various crimes during the 4 years where Trump wasn't president. Trump is now actually coming after those people as well. We've seen many high-profile cases of indictments in the same manner, a similar manner as what's happening to Kat, happening to someone like Letitia James, was recently indicted for federal bank fraud charges. Now, this comes after Trump publicly pressured his attorney general, Pam Bondi, via a mistaken Truth Social post where he said, we need to go after these people more. They shouldn't be able to get off the hook. We'll put that screenshot up right now. Can you imagine how insane it would be for Joe Biden or Barack Obama to tweet at the Department of Justice or the attorney general telling him to investigate or to indict his political enemies? But Letitia James is not the only Trump political enemy who has been indicted by the Department of Justice. James Comey, who of course is the former FBI director under Trump's first term, was also recently indicted by the Trump Department of Justice after Trump demanded that Comey be investigated and actually ousted a U.S. attorney from Virginia who had expressed doubts about the validity of the case. Now, Comey actually oversaw the 2016 supposed Russian investigation from Trump. It makes sense that Trump would want to seek retribution over somebody who probably caused Trump a lot of sleepless nights over whether or not he was going to, have a punishment brought down or whether he was going to be successfully charged with that Russian case. John Bolton, who is Trump's former national security advisor, after criticizing Trump publicly, had his home investigated by federal agents. The list goes on and on. Jack Smith being investigated, Adam Schiff being investigated, Fani Willis, Alvin Bragg. All of these people, former Trump critics or opponents of Trump who either successfully prosecuted him or attempted to, or in the case of Adam Schiff, who served on the January 6th committee, or just people that Trump is pissed off at, doesn't like, he is attacking them in the form of political prosecutions, the very same weaponization of government that Trump campaigned on and was so vehemently against that he alleged that Joe Biden perpetuated on him. Now Trump turns around and does the exact same thing that he was alleging Biden did to other people who have not committed crimes. Trump has had to fire people who work in the Department of Justice because these people won't sign the indictment because there's nothing to charge them with. They don't think that there is a case here. And so all of this is really quite disturbing. We're going to be continuing to cover this case and other investigations started by the Department of Justice in the future as they happen. Make sure to follow the Siren, this YouTube channel that you're watching right now, to stay updated as these events happen and to learn more about what the Trump administration is doing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.